Hey there guys, it's Tori with Sword Guy Builds, and tonight at the request of Angel, we're going to be taking a look at making a few different kinds of keepers for your stock whips. You think people will care that this intro was made as an afterthought and you're literally already making the video? I don't know, do you really think that this of all things is what the audience is going to dislike about your videos? I certainly wish that I was better at stuff. Okay, making a keeper for the belly of this stock whip. Usually I do either 3-part flats or 4-part, you know. This one, the way I'm doing it, I'm just going to do a 3-part, and this will turn into a braid, and then the overlay will also get a keeper on it, but I'm going to do that one a little bit differently. This one is going to be the most basic. So this one, super easy. Just go directly into our plait. And the mandrel that I'm going to be using for my hole spacing is a 3/4 inch dowel. That was my core. Okay, let's check it against the dowel that I have right here. Tough to see. I don't think it's big enough yet. 3-part braids are the absolute easiest. Oh, yes, I'm gonna call that good. You can't really see, but we're looking for it to just barely make it around the circumference of our dowel. Oh, it left wax all over the end. Okay, so the important thing about making keepers is you need to make sure that how to say it. So it's going to close around itself, right? And then, for example, these two, if we're looking at it from this side, these two are going to be going around to the left, and this one is going to come back around this way and be going right. Yeah, so on the opposite side, we need two coming this way, and then one going around that way. So basically we're looking to see that 2 on the left, 1 on the right, and the same up here. And it looks like I've got the opposite, so I mean, we can just, there. 3-part is by far the easiest to fix that stuff with. Not sure if that made a bunch of sense. Hopefully it'll make more sense in a moment when... There we go. Okay. So we got our braid, right? Now we've got these the single strands coming up and the double strands going down, because when we loop it around and close it up, well, I won't get too far ahead of myself. I'll be back in a sec with our mandrel. Okay, so we got our 3/4 inch mandrel in place, and we're just going to drape this around the back of it. Okay, now we can see here, I know the contrast is low with the black. Okay, so we can see here that this one, last strand it crossed, it went over. So it's going to go under the first one it intersects from the other side. Okay? And then this one just went under a strand, so it's going to go over. Okay? And then this one, our last, just easily make it do the opposite of what the last strand just did. Okay? So we've got our beautiful little lattice structure here. and you can go directly into a diamond plat or your herringbone if you wanted to. I'm going to go straight into a herringbone. All right, we got our belly platted up, and we got our nifty little keeper right there, and I've got my overlay strands prepped. So the basic idea for this is, in the interest of keeping the keepers narrow, I'm going to make a 4-plat keeper, which will become 8-plat when we go into our round braid. But before I go into the round braid, I'm going to introduce 2 new strands that'll bring it up to our 12-plat. And I've got them in this particular orientation, green, yellow, yellow, red, because of the pattern that I'm ultimately trying to achieve in the overlay. Ideally, it will be, there will be yellow on both sides, but green will be all on one side and red will be all on the other side. So kind of interesting. And I mean, there are so many different ways that you could align your different colors to achieve different patterns and stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, play around with different sequences and different color patterns and stuff. What I'm trying to land on is green on the right and red on the left. That'll get me where I need to be. Okay, so this should be exactly what I need. Let's compare some keeper sizes. You can kind of see. Yes, that should be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to set this up and go into our plat. Okay, so we got our overlay keeper all made up. I'm going to take one of my extra strands and I'm going to shoot it down this way and then down that way. Okay, so this strand goes under, this strand goes over. So we're going to go under and over those strands. Okay, and then on this side, if I didn't lose my things, where's the red one? There we go. Yes, awesome. Okay, so on this side, we're going to go over, because this one just went over, and under. Okay, and now that we've got that one in there, now we can go into our round braid. So now this one, this strand here just went over, so it's going to go under. This green strand just went under, so it's going to go over. And this red strand over here just went over, so it's going to go under, over. Okay, make a bunch of sense. Looks pretty good. All right, so that's half of it. Okay, got my other strand here, and this is going to go around the back. So find a way to like pin it back here with your finger. Okay, and now it's going to be just like plaiting. This green strand goes under, over, under, over. We're going to go over, under, over, under, over. All right. And then, let's see, is this, I have to find it again. Here it is. Okay. This one over here. Under, over. Where is it? Under, over, under, over. And that is all there is to it. Now, I am free to transition into my herringbone. So I'm going to do that. Okay, here we go, about to plait the keeper for our handle, for our stock. Now we could do the same thing for this that we did for the belly or the overlay of the actual whip, but since we've only got one layer on the handle, it's going to be like a really broad keeper if we just flat braid all this into a 6-plat, you know, and then go into the plaiting from that. So I mean, we could like take 4 of these and plait them, and then introduce these at the top of the aluminum, you know. Let's see, this end we could do a 4-plat, and then just introduce the 2 extras right there. But I just sort of like the idea of having 2 keepers instead of 1. So what we're gonna do is plait this into a keeper and this into a keeper, and then mate them to make the round braid. So basically, there are a bunch of different ways that we could plait these and then combine them. So we just need to make sure that however we do it, okay, for a 3-plat flat braid, we're going to have 2 strands going one direction and 1 strand going the other direction. However, whatever orientation we end up with, we just need to make sure that with these 2 combined, these 2 flat braids combined, we have 3 strands going that way and 3 strands going that way. And if that doesn't make sense, I'll sort of clarify when we go to start this. So I'm just going to quickly plait these up until we have enough to go over our 3/4 inch mandrel, and get back to you. All right, we got our 2 braids here. Let's go and make them together. Okay, so I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. So we've got 3 total strands going left and 3 total strands going right. Okay, so we'll take these 4, right? And you can see this one here, the last strand it intersects, it goes over. And this one, the last strand it intersects, it goes under, and that's perfect. We'll just intersect those 2, doing the opposite of what they each just did. And then the next one, we'll just follow the opposite pattern, okay? This one here, same thing. We're just creating a diamond plait. Okay, and now we've got this side ready to go into our round braid. Flip this thing around. And this side, the intersecting edge only has 1 strand per side, so I mean, no worries. We'll just do that, and we are good to go. We'll go and transfer this to our plaiting station. So it can be kind of tricky to keep all this from tangling up and being all terrible, but I mean, do it a couple times, you'll be perfect at it, I'm sure. Anyway, we have it wrapped around our 3/4 inch mandrel, and we're just going to go straight into our diamond plait. So these 2, this one has just gone under, this one has just gone over. Perfect. We'll just cross them thusly. Okay, this one just went under, so it just went over, I mean, so it'll now go under. This one just went under, so it'll go over, under. Okay, this one went under, under. This one went over, under, under. And now we have our plait fully established. And I think for this one that I'm doing, I'm gonna do an under 2/2 for the entire length of the handle. So that's what I'm going to go into here, but you could also go into a herringbone or, you know, rings, whatever you want. So we finished this up, and I actually decided to do my under 2 over 2 and then some rings so that you get like this striped sort of, it's almost iridescent, kind of cool. I like that. And then went back into under 2 over 2 and then finished off with a herringbone because that's going to get covered up by the next layer of plaiting. But here is our pair of keepers. You can see they mate very well, and that is pretty much perfect. That's exactly what we're going for. It's not really going to be any stronger than if we were to have just like flat braided 6 plait, you know. But I feel like it's more flexible, you know. Like if we get our other keeper coming through and pulling against these, they can shift against each other a little bit. Where if they were flat, it would just be like a straight arc trying to like sort of bend around the curve of our thong, and it just wouldn't be as desirable as if we've got 2 small flexible keepers that you know are not joined. They can seat however they want. Anyway, there we go. All right, we got our thong made up and we've got our handle made up. So now we just need to mate the 2. So we've got 2 keepers here, and we've got 2 keepers on the thong. So all we got to do is force them through thusly, right? And then take our opposite end, our hitch, and just put it up through both of our handle keepers. Then we just draw it on through like this. And I'll clean up that keeper situation a little bit. I always work it around like that, just so that it, actually I like that. There we go. Help it seat if you just sort of work it around that way. All right, so there we go. There we go, a stock whip.
Thanks a bunch for watching, everybody. I hope the video was informative for you. If you got any questions or whatever, let me know. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe, and I will hope to see you in the next one. Thanks a bunch.